Bottom right spawn position, the red Protoss. We've got ABOMB. He was able to win the first game with some beautiful play as we're zooming in on his probes. And on the left side of the map, on the bottom side, we've got the blue Zerg player. Lost game one. He's going to be looking to tie the series up 1-1 right now. He definitely had the mechanics right, and he hang in there. He did some really good damage with his mutas, but in the end, it was not enough to hold off the relentless assaults coming from the red Protoss player, ABOMB. I'm looking forward to what Phamut is going to be doing in this game.
I am too, and I think mutas are a likely option yet again. I cast a game earlier in the week from In Control versus a not very well-known player who's also in High Masters, where he actually beat In Control with just mass muta, and I'm talking like 50 plus.
Mass. Yeah. There's a difference between mass muta and mass muta. There's like mass muta and you make like 20 of them, but there's also ridiculously mass muta, and that's when you make 30 plus of them. In which scenario Storm is a must. There's really no way to deal with more than 20 mutas without Storm. There isn't.
Indeed, there isn't. It's really difficult, and of course with the muta change, even Storm can be quite difficult to engage with, because you end up in a position where unless your Storms kill the mutas, they can just fly off into the distance, wait a couple of seconds, heal up again, and then come back for round two. So it really forces a Protoss player to kill it outright. But the other thing for Phamut to obviously think about on this map is air is just as viable for the Protoss player. Warp Prism harassment is a possibility. Oracle, of course, I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of air Protoss throughout this series and the evening from both of the events, but I reckon Oracle harassment is a big possibility on this game. Maybe even just flat out Void Ray carry a Tempest.
But we'll get to see plenty of the Oracle play when Whitera is going to start his show match versus Demaga. Of course, Whitera known for his Oracle play, his double Stargate play in PvZ in the Heart of the Swarm beta, which he used to take out Liquid Red in a show match series that I was watching. He completely destroyed Rats in that series. I believe it was a 3-0 or 4-0. Not quite sure anymore, but we saw Double Stargate play in pretty much every game, and Rat, he just didn't know how to deal with that play just yet. So we'll get to see plenty out of the Oracle. Let's talk a little bit more about the muta regeneration rate. I can imagine if you've never played Heart of the Swarm beta, you're going to be like, okay, well, how quick do those mutas really regen? Is it like shields? No, it's not like Pearl shields, but they heal about 1 health per second, which is nothing to joke about. When they go out of combat for a little bit over a minute, they're going to be regenerating over 60 HP. So when an engagement goes bad, fly away, and after a minute or a minute and a half, you're going to be good to fight again.
Indeed, and that is what the big problem can be with going up for that really mass muta style. And it'll be interesting to see if Phamut goes for that, because I think that was his intention in game one. To be honest, it seemed to be what he was trying to do. And to be honest, I'm just hoping to see ABOMB really go for an air style play on this map. It's so suited to it. And I think if he does that, he could catch Phamut off guard. So definitely something to look out for. And if we do see that, then interesting to see how Phamut tries to deal with him.
So far, there's not a lot of interesting things to report just yet. The same openers coming out of both players, no Mothership Core on one base into harassment, into an expansion we see out of Protoss sometimes. ABOMB is going to be investing in an extra cannon here because he saw no third base just yet, but third base is on his way. So that extra cannon is going to be a little bit of a wasted investment for our red Protoss player here, but it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Now, I'm actually just having a look at the fact that third base is very late. I don't know if you saw a particular reason for that not coming down. Usually the only reason you would see that being quite so late is due to a lot of Zerglings, but there's only 2 there. There's no gas taken yet for Phamut. So, I don't know, did you see any reason that should have been delayed so far?
Yeah, he made, usually Zerg players make 1 queen and then get their third base, or they make 2 queens and then get their third base. But Phamut has option to get 3 queens because the creep spread towards his third base is really quite significant. So he got an extra queen to get his creep spread started, made an extra overlord, made a few extra drones, and then get the third base.
That explains all of it then. I didn't notice the third queen. As we've got here, the third and fourth gas coming out for ABOMB. He's also getting the Mothership Core. He started that at around the 40-ish supply, which is it's a very normal timing to get that Mothership Core from all the games I've seen in Heart of the Swarm so far. If you're not, that is of course if you're not going for the super early 1 base Mothership Core style play where you go and harass. So really thinking this is good. Yet again, ABOMB moving it across, and I hope he's quite aggressive with it. And just getting chucked down now is the Stargate. So we're definitely going to be seeing some airplay out of the Protoss player. The Rotron hasn't been forgotten this time by Phamut, which is good news for him, except for the fact that he doesn't really need it this game so far.
Well, he might need it a little bit, depending on how many more Zealots ABOMB is going to be making. He produced an extra gateway, and that's a pretty big commitment. He made a really quick second gateway and made quite a lot of Zealots out of those. We see 4 Zealots and a Mothership Core now heading across the map towards that third base. So 3 or 4 Roaches would be perfect to deal with this small attack force.
And that's exactly what we've got coming out. And behind this, though, ABOMB, he's just using this as a distraction because he's got a second Stargate on its way, and Oracle is now getting Chrono boosted out, so this is the first time we're going to see this. But actually, Phamut going for those Spore Crawlers straight away, one at the main, one at the natural. But assuming we're going to see 2 Oracle harassment, we may actually need more than that, because 2 Oracles do kill a Spore, but a Queen and a Spore can kill 2 Oracles. That is the really important thing to note.
Yeah, 2 Queens are actually really powerful into dealing with Oracles. That way you can really shut it down. The Spore Crawler, of course, shuts it down too. But the skirmish at the third base is not over yet. Those 4 Zealots are still all alive, and Phamut was forced to pull all his workers back and produce a few extra Roaches, and it doesn't look like he's going to end up losing anything here. I don't think he lost anything. The only thing, he's lost 1 unit worth 25 resources. Huh.
That is a really nice trade for Phamut, but in comes the Oracle. It is going to be forced back, though, because as we see, the Queen trying to engage, and an Oracle can kill a Queen. If there's no micro. That can just be done.
Yeah, but luckily there was a Spore Crawler in the mineral line for Phamut, so he just retreats its Queen towards that Spore Crawler, and he's going to be very, very safe. Of course, something to take into account, has the Oracle got enough energy to kill a Queen? That's a situation you can run into too, where you've harassed a little bit with your Oracle, and then you're like, oh, this Queen in the middle of the map, or this Queen is out of position, I can take her out, and then you lack the energy to actually do so, which is something that I've had happen to myself on more than one occasion.
Which I actually quite like that in terms of the game design, though, because it means players do have to consider their energy management on the Oracle. We've got a good follow-up coming out, though, from ABOMB. He's going up for apparently a lot of Void Rays, which is very nice. Going the Oracle Harass into the Void Rays is really good. It supplements your ground army quite effectively. And Phamut is actually dealing with this perfectly by getting the Hydra Den out. And do you want to tell us a little bit about how Hydra lists have changed for those of us who haven't played in the beta yet?
Let's go into that in just a little bit. We get a few Zealots running into the third base. The Oracles are going to be running in here too, and they're going to focus down that Spore Crawler immediately. There's a Queen to help support them, but like you said, this should be a battle that the Oracles can win if they focus down the Queen immediately. One Oracle is about to go down, and it does fall. The Queen has gone down too, and these Oracles can go to town a little bit. Where are the rest of the Queens off Phamut? He's not even pulling them yet. But
no, he's not.
Oracles are out of energy anyway.
Phamut is actually just going to go for a flat-up counter-attack. He has got a lot of Roaches marching over, but there's a good number of cannons and Void Rays defending the third base. So with that, it's going to force Phamut back for the moment. And the other little thing which we saw briefly for ABOMB was that actually Oracles one-shot lava, but they don't do it automatically. So if you do target down lava, that can be a very detrimental... That can have a very detrimental effect on a Zerg player's production capability.
Yeah, it can. It can make a huge difference if you do focus those down. If you shift queue them up, an Oracle kills 10 larvae in like 3 seconds because it has such a quick rate of fire. But we didn't see ABOMB try to do anything like that. Phamut has actually done a really good defense against these Oracles, I'd say. He had to pull his drones a few times. He has lost a lot of mining time, and he did lose a few Queens. But he didn't really lose that many drones, did he? He only lost 2 workers in this entire game.
Exactly, 2 workers against 2 Oracles, or it was actually 3 Oracles in the end, is really, really good. I mean, even some of the top pro players in the beta at the moment are losing far more than that to Oracles. So a nice defense, and it has set him up in a quite nice spot. We've got the Hydra Roach army on its way across now. The Hydras are about to get the speed upgrade, which is new and hard swarm, any second. So this engagement will be able to be retreated out from if Phamut doesn't feel him.
Yeah, he can retreat right now. The Void Rays are in a beautiful position here. I thought there would not be any vision, but somehow those Hydras are getting vision up that little cliff there. The Void Rays, of course, were attacking. That grants the Hydra's vision of them. The Void Rays are going to be using their charge ability to do as much damage as possible. The cannons helping out, and it looks like there might be enough Void Rays, or are the Hydras going to come out victorious? 3 Void Rays still standing. The force fields go down, protecting the cannons and the sentries from harm. But the second base, the natural, is now so wide open. The forces of ABOMB caught behind the force fields. But Phamut, he doesn't really know where to go. He's kind of doubting, am I going to run into the natural, or am I going to go for the third? And he's just stuck in the middle right now, but he is killing a lot of those very expensive units. The sentries, the Void Rays, they have all down.
They are all down indeed, and what ABOMB really needs to do now is just clean up this force, and he's using the Photon Overcharge from the Mothership Core on the Nexus, allowing him to make sure that his natural and main stays safe. With the cannons of the third base, there's not enough for Phamut to push through at the moment, but the reinforcements streaming across are very concerning, or are going to be very concerning for ABOMB very shortly.
Where's this Warp Prism going at the bottom of the map? There's a single probe in there. I'm really curious where that Warp Prism is going to go with a single probe in it. But there's an attack happening at the third base, so that Warp Prism investigation is going to have to wait a little bit. There's nothing to defend here for ABOMB. He has 2 Void Rays and 2 Archons. That's basically it. The Void Rays are not even attacking right now. This is not looking good for ABOMB. He's down about 80 supply right now, and there's so many Roaches and Hydras with good upgrades attacking his Nexus right now, and he doesn't have any energy on his Mothership Core.